Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today I'm taking an Unscripted and Unchained preview of Conan 2D20, the card decks. So, as you can see in the picture here, there's actually 5 card decks, but I was only able to get the physical three card decks that you're going to see in this video. Hopefully the other ones will become available again. They're currently out of stock, but as soon as I can get the other 2 packs, I'm going to. Now, I had backed this game system on a Kickstarter in 2015, early 2016. I don't know exactly when it launched, but I had backed it, and they just recently, I'd say within the last 2 months, completed Wave 3 shipments. They were obviously delayed because of restrictions of commerce between the United States and Europe and other parts of the world as well. So really long delays with a lot of Kickstarters out there, and this was not an exception to it. So it did take some time. Now, when I backed it for all of the hardcovers and and the physical dice and such, but I didn't back it for the physical card decks. And I figured I'll be good enough with the PDFs, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two once I shift views here on the video. So yeah, I mean, I finally broke down, and I decided after looking at the PDFs and decided, you know what, I do want the actual decks of cards. And as soon as I got them and I started taking a look at them, I realized that there's a lot more I can do with these things than maybe even they intended to. And so that's what I'm going to get into next. Excuse me. So here we have the PDF, and I messed around with several different ways of printing it out, and basically I came up with, well, I could put one card front and back on the top of a regular sheet and then the bottom of the regular sheet. So the Bandit, this would be the front, this would be the back. But you can see, even if you folded this up and you printed it double-sided and go through all the formatting craziness that's involved with doing that, especially when the PDF is 40 or 50 pages long, it becomes a real nightmare to do that kind of a print job. And then still on top of that, you'd only be printing on regular paper here, so you'd have to get higher quality paper just to run that. And when you consider the amount of ink that it would take, colored ink and such, I just started thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I mean, I might as well just spend the £15 plus whatever the shipping and handling might have been on getting the cards. And so that's what I decided to do. So I am going to show you really quickly encounter cards. And I'll show you the Bandit card, which should be on the very top of this here. Of course, I put it out of order. There it is. So just so you can see the comparison. So there is the Bandit card. And you can see it's obviously a little bit more vibrant, and basically look at the size difference. I mean, you can't compare the size difference here. So, and then there is the back and back. And so there you have it. So once I had noticed that, hey, you know what, size difference wise, it's really a significant improvement over using the printed out ones. Second thing I started to think about was, well, here's the story cards and here's the location cards, and then you have your encounter cards. Very, very easy for you as a game master to just create a short adventure on the fly by taking a look at the story card, going to the location. All right, so this is what the story is going to be. This is where it's going to be. This is what the player or players are going to face. Now, another thing I want to say about the Conan 2D20 system is, and actually I'll come back to the cards. One of the things I really loved about this system was that I found that by changing a few of the rules, so just homebrewing a few of the rules, that this game system works phenomenally well with a GM and one player. And that one player is kind of the heroic character where all of the story is going to revolve around that character. And that character will also have to, pick up a few henchmen or whatever to do some of the other tasks that other players might be involved with. But I played through several gameplays using the system that I created and using this system here. And it matched so well with really authentic Robert E. Howard storytelling that I was like, wow, they should have just went with that. But the point is that it's by far my favorite Conan role-playing game that's out there. And it's just something that works so well with even a small group or even one player that I highly recommend doing that. So when I took a look at these cards, I was like, wow, you could really generate a very quick adventure for just one player and kind of do that. Then I thought, wow, with some more tweaking of the rules, this could really lend itself to solo play. And using the cards that way, you have some randomization and you have your character, and let's see, well, what's the story that my character is going to run into today? Where is my character going to be located? And what are the challenges that my character are going to face? Then you could use other map generating type either programs or products, such as like the deck of many dungeons, and you can generate dungeons like that, and then just keep on pulling these cards as you're going through. Now, I don't have the Doom and Momentum cards. They're currently out of stock, and I don't have the Sorcery cards. But once I can get my hands on those, now I can actually really start to flesh out a story. And then if they're, if in the encounter cards, there's a sorcerer involved, then I could start utilizing those sorcery cards. Or they also have magic items or just strange and items. I haven't gone through it yet because I do have the PDF, but I haven't looked at it yet. I was waiting to get the card decks in order to do that. So let's take a look at a story card real quick. So here is the deck. There's 54 cards in the deck, and it starts off with a product outline of what it is. This question mark is how to use this deck. So it tells you how to use this deck, and if I were going to create a very quick story for either a player to run through or to run solo. All right, so I just pulled out Framed. All right, so Framed is going to be my story. Let me just try to sort these out. And let's try to drop this down a little bit so you can see. Let it get caught up. There's a bit of a glare today, a strange glare. Catch. There we go. Yeah, there's a bit of it, and they're not very glossy, finish on them, but it's just strange lighting today. So, someone has been framed for a crime, theft, murder, treason, etc. The accused could be one of the player characters or someone else that they care about, a close friend, a relative, a neighbor, or old acquaintance. All right, so I have the beginnings of my story. Next I'm going to do, so I'll set framed up over there, is I'm going to take a look at my location cards. So here we have the location cards, and the cover side is actually just a picture and a little quotation or an excerpt from one of Robert E. Howard's stories. So when I take this one here, I see that our location is going to be a tavern. All right, so we have you are framed and you are in a tavern, and it tells you if you spend momentum, what you can do in this location. I'll try to catch up again. If the GM is utilizing Doom, then, gosh, it's just not catching up. Or it's a very, very strange lighting, and it's just not catching up. I don't get why it's not zooming in and catching up here. There we go. Gosh. Something a little weird with the camera today. So the momentum is a kind of like an advantage. So you knock a lantern into a pool of spilled alcohol, adding the burning condition, burning X condition or 10 condition. And then Doom is a negative, so summon a tough guard, town guard, who arrives at the start of the next round. And Fortune is if you expend Fortune, a secret door is concealed in the floor behind the bar, leading to the sewers, where you could potentially get an escape. All right, so far we have our framed, and we have our tavern. All right, so framed and the tavern. Now, I could go with that first card that I pulled out, or I can take a look at my my encounter cards now. So, and I'm going to pull this up. I know I went through all that trouble of getting that out there. So, there are several things. So they have different categories of cards in here. So you have minions, you have toughened, you have nemesis, you have horrors, and you have undead. All right, and then there are giant creatures and the adjustments for giant creatures. They have a variety of things. They have fields of expertise that you can add to these encounters. You have groups that you can involve, whether there be mobs, whether it be squads, and spending Doom for additional options. You have special abilities that you can add into the encounter as well. And they list all of these special abilities. So 3 cards worth of special abilities. And then we can have our minions. Now I already sorted out this deck, and I put all of my minions. Although a skeleton warrior can be minion, toughened, or, category of undead, which is its base category. Ghost could be minion, toughened, or undead. A degenerate can be minion, toughened, nemesis, or horror, so they can actually run the full, the full spread. A warhorse is a minion, an ape is a minion, a thug is a minion. So I can either pull and say, well, I'm going to have them face 2 or 3 minions, and let's just use the bandit. Now, looking at some of the other cards, so you have minions, you have toughened. So a ghoul is a toughened character. There we go. So a ghoul is toughened. I'll show you an example of each. Child of Dark is kind of weird. So a cult leader is a nemesis level character, and you can see that they have their abilities, their attacks and special abilities on the back there. Doom spends, none, so you cannot utilize Doom spends with them, I guess. A bodyguard or a degenerate, they're all nemesis, a pirate captain. And then we get to nemesis here, but you're starting to get to actual named characters. So Captain Strong is a nemesis. Almeric of Nemedia is renowned. All right, so renowned characters are slightly more powerful than nemesis. Conan the Cimmerian. So we'll talk a little bit about this one separately. Thothamam, Belit, Valeria, Astreus, Sotholanti, Taurus of Nemedia. So if you're doing Tower of the Elephant, you can pair these two up if you're doing something along that way, and Shavatas the Thief. All right, so as you can see, I mean, there is a huge selection of cards and levels of cards that you can utilize in order to create these, these short stories. So let's take a look at the three story cards that we had. So we have our situation, our location, who is the opposition, and maybe this is our player character. Not going to be very much opposition. All right, so we have our bandit, we have our Conan as our character. Conan was framed in a tavern fighting off a minion bandit. All right, so very, very quickly, easily put together a short little scenario that the players can go through. So once again, I think there's a great deal of bargain in purchasing these physical decks, and if you have the PDFs and you have the the wherewithal and the desire to sit there and create them and print them out on your own, you're certainly welcome to do so. But when I compared the two, I was like, I'm just going to get the decks. It's so much easier to deal with. And once again, these cards can be a very easy way that you could produce very short encounters or stories and such, and utilize other DMing aids or DM-less aids in order to create a solo experience as well. So that was something that I thought of once I started taking a look at them, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm certainly going to try that out. So once again, I hope you liked this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have any questions or comments about this product or any other product that's out there that you'd like for me to take a look at, please leave those comments in there as well. If you're producing something and you want me to take a look at it, if you want me to preview it or proofread it, or just give you my impressions of it, and you want me to subsequently do a video showcasing your product, please feel free to contact me. You can leave something there in the in the comments section, or you can reach me on on Facebook or on Twitter, and I have all my contacts and everything in the video description where you can reach me. And I've done that in the past, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy taking a look at what other people are working on, and if they share me the PDF and I take a look at it, and I was like, hey, you know what, I really like this, then I will gladly put out a video previewing it, and and explaining why I actually like the product. And I usually don't tell people how to spend their money. I don't like doing that. But I will tell you why I like a particular product. And so, so that's pretty much it. If you haven't gotten your hands on the card decks for the Conan 2D20, unfortunately right now they're all out of stock. So I'm kind of on like a waiting list or an email list to alert me as soon as they become available again, so I can get those other two decks, and that should really flesh out, the possibility of running some solo encounters, or just generating gameplay for one or a few players as well. So once again, thanks for joining. You all have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. Take care.